Welcome to the Kavil Vano program. This is the module on Microsoft PowerPoint. This is lesson 2, which is home. So in the last video, in the last lesson, we saw how to, let's say, open a PowerPoint file and how to use the basic function of file. Today, so this is the home page, and today we are going to look at the basic functions and features which are available on the home page, right? So let's start with the very basic, feature of how to add a new slide, right? So this is a slide which is there, and so how to add a new slide? You just need to click on this slide and double right click on it. You can have a new slide. Just click on new slide. Alternatively, what you can do is Control N. That will be giving you a completely new PowerPoint presentation. So we don't need this. We need some slides. So right click on that and click on new slide, right? So this is the most easiest form of creating new slides in the same PowerPoint presentation. Okay, fine. So let's look at each of these slides individually and how you can change it. So first thing is this slide. So we are at slide number 1. When you click on slide number 1, what you can see on the right hand side is slide number 1, right? So this is the title. This is the title page. Once you click on this text box, you can type anything you want. Let's say my presentation. And you can make a lot of changes to the font size, font text, font size and font style by clicking here. See, you can see here, Calibri right. You can change it to, let's say, Arial black, anything you want. You can change the font size as well from 12. You can make it to, let's say, 20. So that is also possible, right? So this is the subheading. You can follow the same rules for the subheading as well. Let's say I want to make it 12, or let's say I want to make it 36. So that is possible, right? Now, some other basic features are how can you make it bold. You just have to click on this bold. Alternatively, Control plus B. When you say Control plus B, it becomes bold. When you press Control plus B again, when you press Control plus B again, see, say this is not in bold right now. So when you press Control plus B, it will become bold, right? You can also italicize it. I mean, you can also slant it in a particular way by just clicking on it. And you can also underline this. By clicking on it once more, you can remove the underline, you can remove the italics. This is the shadow. For example, let's say you have a beautiful, let's say, title, and you want to create a shadow for this. You can see a slight shadow, right? So this is how you can create it, fine? Now, this particular feature, you can make the character spacing. For example, character spaces are normal in this case. So for example, let's look at introduction and overview. We want to say that we want to, let's say, make it very, very loose. So it is very, very loose. It's very loose. And if you want to make it tight, it is very tight. It is tight. And we can also make it very tight. So it depends. So the character spacing, the distance between the characters can be defined. So let's keep it at normal. So until unless we need to, let's say, cut short the spacing, let's keep it at normal, fine. Then we have cases. So we can have sentence cases. Sentence case is a normal thing wherein the first word, the first letter of every word would be a capital. Then we can also create everything in lowercase, everything in uppercase, and we can capitalize each word. And then there is a two-bill case wherein the first letter would be small and the rest would be capital letters, right? So we don't want this right now. Let's keep it at sentence case, fine. Okay. So this is it. So based on the basic things, now what you can do is you can increase the font size directly by 4 units or 5 units by clicking on just this. And you can also decrease the font size automatically, right? This is possible. So you have seen this. You have also seen this, how you can change the case. Let's see how you can change the font colors. We can change the font colors by just highlighting whatever we want to change, and this is the area from which you can change the font color. So you can change the font color from here. You can select any color you want. Let's say we want to change it to blue. We want to change it to, let's say, almost brownish. So let's remove this shadow for the moment, right? So this is how it looks. And by the way, you can change the font colors of any of these text boxes from here, right? So this is possible, fine. There is another thing. So for example, this is a shape, right? This is clearly a shape. So this is a text box, right? So what you can do is you can, let's look at this portion first. So this portion is interesting. So we want to, let's say, fill this entire box with some color. How do we do this? Shape fill. When we go on shape fill, we can just select any color that we want. It should be, matching with the font size, font color as well. So we can, let's say that we select this light blue, right? So we selected this. Similarly, if you want something for this, it can also be done by shape fill. Fine. Now let's say that this box does not have any outline. You can see it does not have any outline right now. We can also add an outline to this by just clicking on shape outline. We want a black color outline. Similarly, we want a red color outline for this, so we can do this. You see, this has a red color outline. So this is possible, right? So this is it. Now, these are some of the basic things that we have shown to you. There's also another interesting thing on shape effects. For example, if you click on the shape, you can have presets. This is how it would look like. I mean, this is slightly, more funky. If you want to create something, very, very visually appealing, you can create that. But for the moment, we would not just focus on these things. Okay. Let's look at some of the basic things first, and then we can move on to some other more appealing things. Fine. Okay. So let's say that you have a text box here. Fine. And you want to copy and paste this text box in the next slide. What will you do? Just Control C and Control V, right? It's very simple, right? It's very simple. But you can, you can edit this as well. Now suppose there are some pictures that you have. For example, this is in written format which you can edit. But you want to save it as a picture. What you can do is Control C, and before pasting, which is Control V, click on paste. Once you click on paste, you can also paste it as a picture. So this has been pasted as a picture, and you can save it as a picture. Just right click on this, and you can save it as a picture. Fine. So this is possible, right? You can either save it as a text, or you can save it as a picture. Both the things are possible. Now, Format Painter is really, really useful. So let's see. Let's remove the filling here. Let's remove the outline here. Fine. Okay. Now say that some of your lines are in this font and this color, and some of the lines are in this font and this color. You want to change the font size, style and font color of my presentation to match with introduction and overview. How will you do this at one shot? Just click on any portion of this introduction and overview and go to Format Painter. Once you click on this, hold on. Just click on Format Painter once. You will be getting something like this. So what you can do is you can select your destination, and it will automatically be changed to this. Fine. So this is how you use Format Painter. So let's look at this again. So for example, you have introduction and overview. You want to change the font size and font style of my presentation as well as the font color. How you can do that at one shot without going to, let's say, body, style and the font size individually. How you can do that at one shot? Just click on any of these letters, click on Format Painter. Once you click on Format Painter, you can select the destination area. For example, my presentation. Just select it and remove it. Fine. So this is how it will be done. This is how you can use Format Painter. Fine. You have already seen new slide, how you can open a new slide. Now, okay, so let me just tell you one more thing about new slides. So once you right click on this new slide on the left hand side, once you click on this, you can delete the slides, you can publish slides. There are there's something called layout. Layout means how different sections of a slide are arranged. For example, the first thing is title slide. So wherein you have a title and wherein you have a subtitle. The second thing is title and content. For example, you will have a title which is a heading, and then you can add content. Then you can have a section header. A section header means that there are, let's say, within a chapter, there are, let's say, two different sections, section 1 and section 2. So as soon as the section 1 ends and before the section 2 starts, you can have a header which will tell you, okay, this is the beginning of section 2. You can have such kind of section headers. You can have two contents. I mean, these are templates. These are nothing but templates. Fine. So you can have a slide. You can change the format of the slide with only title, or you can have a blank slide as well. So let me just show this to you. For example, this is a slide, right? This is a title as well as content. So let's go to layout. What you can do this, you can have only title. See, you don't have any box for any content, but you can create it manually as well. You can have blank as well where there are no titles. You can have, let's say, two content wherein you have title and you can add text as well, right? You can also have picture with caption. So this is where you will have picture and this is where you will have text. So all these things are possible with Microsoft PowerPoint. So these are nothing but ready-made templates which are available to you from Microsoft PowerPoint, right? So layout, when you click on layout, I think it is very clear. When you have sections, you can add sections, but this is clearly not necessary right now. So let's look at some of the other things like bullet points. This is important. So let's look at bullet points, fine? So we need to type some sentences here. So let's leave this title slide. We'll go to slide number 2, fine? So let's insert a text box here. Let's say my name is Sandeep Kumar Sharma. I am a student of B.R. Harne College of Engineering. I live in Thane. Right? So these are 3 different sentences. Now, this looks very clumsy, right? This is neither a paragraph, so there are different lines. So if I can use a bullet point, so for example, if I can use a bullet point, it looks very neat, right? Now, how does it look right now? It looks very neat. So whenever you have some points, you always should use a bullet point format. This is how you can use a bullet point format. You can change the shape of the bullet as per your wish. For example, if you want, you can change it to, let's say, a square shape. You can change it to a tick mark sign. You can change it to a box, whatever you want. But it is always better to use a bullet point format, right? So this is always better. You can also change it to numbers. For example, if you want numbers, let's say 1, 2, 3, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, or ABC, you can do that, right? If you want to change the color of this particular bullet, how can you do this? Go to bullets and numbering. You can change the color from here. Let's say I want a slightly orangish color, so I can change this from here, right? Control Z and you have the original color. So this is the function of, this is how you use these 2 things, fine? Now let's say that there's something called alignment, right? Why do we use alignment? Because, so for example, this is one text box, fine? You can either align the text to the left hand side, or you can align it in the middle of the text box, or you can align it to the right. So let's look at these 3 things. So you can see here clearly, this is align left. So Control plus S is align left. When you click on this, which is alignment in the middle, Control plus N. Whereas if you click on right, the content will be aligned from the right. It will be starting from the right, right? So this is it. Now there's another thing called justify. Justify is between these 2 things, between these 2, it will justify your content. It will justify your content between these 2 things. Fine. So let's say if we just have this left, We need to give some more sentences and then it will be clear. One second. Fine. So this is left. So this is what is left alignment. Now, if we want to justify a little bit, see, you saw the change here. It became slightly more properly distributed, right? So this is what is meant by this now. Okay. Now, so this is what is justified. So this looks much more, organized. This looks much more distributed. It looks at least slightly better. Now, this is a feature. If you want, you can, put it into two columns. For example, this is one column, but you can put it into two columns. See, these two columns are there. If you want, you can put it in three columns as well. This is also possible. Fine. So let's undo this for this moment. Now you can change the direction as well. So for example, if you want, you can rotate all the text 90 degrees. This is not needed right now, but you can do that. Now see, what you can do is you can have the text aligned to the top of the text box, middle of the text box, or bottom of the text box. So let's look at an example here. Fine. So this is the text box that is there. Fine. We want to align the text. Currently, it is at the top. We want to align it to the middle. It is at the middle right now. Fine. And we can also align it at the bottom. It is not showing currently right now, but you can align the text boxes to the top, middle, and bottom accordingly. Fine. You can also convert it into a smart art. We look at smart art at different videos. Just after this, we'll be having another video on insert, and then you can listen about how you can create a smart art. You can create this text into a smart art, which is just you just need to click on smart art, and you need to click on this. So you will be getting some feature. But right now, see, the trick with creating smart arts is that you need to know exactly what kind of points you have and how do you want the points to be seen by the audience. Only then a good smart art can be created. Fine. So we'll not get into smart arts right now. Let's look at how to insert some shapes here. So this is the most basic thing, which is text box. Once you click on text box, you have a text box here. You can write anything. You can insert a line. Just click on this and draw a line, just like Paint. I hope most of you have used Paint. So this is how you can insert different shapes here. And by right clicking on that, you can change the shapes as well. So you can format shape. You can change the color. For example, the color is this right now. I can change it to, let's say, orange, or you can change it to the shadow or anything, or you can change it. You can change the size as well. You can change the position as well. Fine. So this is also possible. Now let's say look at line. If you look at line, I can change, let's say, the dash type as well. I can change this. You can play around with this a lot. You can have double compounded lines. Fine. You can do a lot of things with shapes. So similarly, you can arrange, you can insert a lot of these shapes according to your wish. For example, if you want to, let's say, you want to say something, you want to put a quote. Let's say, "Just do it" is a quote, right? And if you have a picture from here, so you can actually do this, right? Just do it. You can create all sorts of these things in PowerPoint. Fine. So you just need to click on individually, let's say, each of these shapes, and you have to try and find out what exactly what exactly can you do with your ideas in mind. So basically, the first thing is that you need to have very clear in your mind about what ideas you should present to your audience, and then you can visualize. Okay, if I have this idea, I will position it in this way to the audience. Only then you can create some shapes. Only then you can use some shapes. Okay, so we don't need this right now. So we'll look at find, replace, and select. So find is very easy. Add to quick access toolbar. So what you can do is when you press Ctrl+F, you can find something, right? So for example, I want to find the word name. So I can find it here. Once you click on name, you are getting it here. You can also replace it. When you click on replace, let's say replace name with skill. Fine. What you can do is you can replace name at only one place, or you can replace all. Let's say I'll replace it all. So it has made all the replacements, right? So my skill is Sandeep Kumar Sharma. You can clearly see this. This is what is find and replace. Fine. So I hope that all of you are clear with some of the most basic functions used at the home page, at the home toolbar. Obviously, some of the functions will be repeated in some of the other tabs, for example, insert, design, transitions. But if you know some of these basic features, I think you are good to go. You can use the PowerPoint at least slightly, effectively. You can use it. So we look at some more advanced features in the other videos. Thank you for listening to this video.